Welcome to today's lesson, lesson 1.4, in measuring in metric units. So what units of measurement in the metric system do you remember? I'll give you a hint. There are some categories. There are things like length, but there are different things that we can measure. So what units of measurement do you remember? Well, in terms of length, here are the four examples of ones that we're going to look at, because these are all ones that you can probably measure things in. You've measured things in millimeters and in centimeters and meters and kilometers. When we measure in capacity, we're looking at things like milliliters and liters. This would be like how much water is in this bottle. And then there's mass, and that's milligram, gram, and kilogram, and that would be things like how much do you weigh. So match each object with the units that would be best for measuring it. Take a second and see if you can figure out which one matches with the others. What you should get is something that looks like this. When we're measuring arm length, we want to use centimeters because centimeters just makes more sense than measuring in like kilometers. I certainly wouldn't measure how long my arm is in kilometers. But also my arm isn't even a whole meter long. And so I don't really want to use meters to measure that. When we talk about the sugar in a scoop of ice cream, we're talking about mass. And so we are going to use grams. The water used to wash the soap, you've talked about how many liters does it take to fill up your washing machine, the capacity of it. A can of soup is measured in milliliters. The height of grass, millimeters would be the best because grass isn't very long. Centimeters could work, but millimeters is probably better. The string needed to fly a kite, those kites get up pretty high, so we want to use meters. And then the distance to Granada would be kilometers. So here's a chart that we're going to use for converting between different units of measure. And so the basic unit for length is the meter, and you can see that here in the center. It's kind of like saying that we start here in the middle, and then we can get big or get smaller or get bigger. And then the basic unit of mass is the gram, and the basic unit of capacity is the liter. So these are you can replace these for meter. You can like make this say gram in the middle, and then you would have a decigram, which we don't really talk about decigrams, or centigram. Again, things we don't really use, but we do use milligrams. If you've ever had to take a pill, like some medicine, those are measured in milligrams. We also have decagrams, hectograms, and kilograms, and that's the one that we are most familiar with because that's how we weigh ourselves. And then you could do the same thing with liter, just replace the word gram with liter. Kiloliter, hectoliter, decaliter, liter, deciliter, centiliter, and milliliter. All right, so we want to change 1,896 meters to hectometers. So what I'm going to do is say, all right, this is meters, so I'm starting here. And I usually put like the word start or a little symbol, something to show that I know where I'm starting. And I'm starting here, and I'm ending at hectometers. So this is my ending space. And I'm going to count how many changes do I have to go through. So I'm going to have to go through 1 and then 2. And notice I always pick where do I start, and I pay attention to the direction. I moved 2 to the left. So that means I'm going to take 1,896 meters, and I know that there's a decimal right there. I'm going to move that decimal the same way I moved this, 2 to the left. So I'm going to say that 1,896 meters is equal to 18.96 hectometers. And I'm going to always write it like this, where I write what did I start with, and what is my new value. I'm going to write the ending one here, but it should look like there should be an equal sign. Both of them should have the unit labels on them, just making it very clear of what we're doing. So now let me change colors. We've got 42.7 kilograms to grams. So now I'm starting here, and I'm ending. Remember, it doesn't say grams or meters. It says I need grams, but it's the same thing. That gram is our unit measure. So I'm going to count how many do I move. I started here, and I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 to the right. So I moved 3 to the right. So I'm going to say that 42.7, and then I'm going to take my decimal and move it 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. So I can rewrite this and say that 42.7 kilograms is equal to 42,700 grams. All right, so now we're going to change 3 liters and 24 milliliters to liters. It's not uncommon to see a measurement that has 2 different units being used. I've got liters and I've got milliliters, and I want to change it to just liters. Well, if I break this down, if I say I've got 3 liters and I have 24 milliliters, right now this one's good. It's already in terms of liters, but this one is not. I need to change milliliters to liters. So I need to change 24 milliliters to liters, and I want to say it's how many liters. So I'm going to start over here because I'm at milli, and I'm going to go to liters, or our unit, our basic unit, and I'm going to count how many do I have to move. 1, 2, 3. I moved 3 to the left. All right, so when I move my decimal point, 24, my decimal point is going to get moved like this. 1, 2, 3. And again, I've got an empty space there, so I'm going to fill it in with a 0. So now I can say I've got 3 liters plus 0.024 liters, and I'm going to add those up vertically. And I know how to do that because we know how to add and subtract with decimals. So I'm going to have 3 point, and I'm going to need 3 zeros after it, plus 0.024. This would give me 4, 2, 0, 3. So I can say for my final answer that 24 milliliters is equal to 3 liters and 24 milliliters is equal to 3.024 liters. This would be my final answer. Now we're going to use the same amount, but we're going to convert everything to milliliters. So I'm going to say, okay, I've got 3 liters and 24 milliliters. And the 24 milliliters is good, but this 3 liters is not good. So I'm going to say 3 liters is how many milliliters? Well, I'm going to change my color, and I'm going to use green. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm starting at liter, and I'm ending at milliliter. And I'm going to go like this. 1, 2, 3. 3 to the right. All right. So we are going to have 3 liters, and I have a decimal right there, but I need to move it 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. And I need to fill all those in with zeros. So I can say that 3 liters equals 3,000 milliliters, but now I need to put it all together. So oh goodness gracious. I have 3,000 liters plus 24 3,000 milliliters plus 24 milliliters, which is 4203. And I can say that 3 liters and 24 milliliters is equal to 3,024 milliliters. Make sure you don't do what I did and put the wrong unit of measure. There we go. Now, I want to point something out. So, you will need to know this chart and be able to fill this chart in on a quiz. But some people have trouble remembering things. So there's a little way to remember. Well, actually, it's not for gram. It's for using the word unit in the middle to talk about, are we using grams, liters, or meters? You might have heard this before. King Henry died unexpectedly actually we'll say decided unexpectedly to drink chocolate milk. Okay, Henry decided unexpectedly to drink, and I know that the T is not in there, but to is just a little word. King Henry decided unexpectedly to drink chocolate milk. And this can help you because it helps remember the order. It's got the first letters, see? K, H, D, U, D, C, and M. It doesn't really help with remembering that deca comes before deci. You'll just have to kind of find some other tricks to remember that. But I wanted to give you this one so that you have kind of a little memory trick for when you have to fill this in on a quiz. This is your homework for today. We have a quiz on Tuesday, and I will give you further instructions at another point in time about how we're going to do quizzes in here. But you're going to do numbers 1 through 10 all, 11 through 23 only the odd numbered problems, and 33 through 38 all. Just so you know, the back of your book has some answers in it. It has answers to some of the odd problems. And so when I give you odd problems, a really great way to check your work is to check with the back of the book. And I call it Bob because you've got the back of the book. Back of book is Bob. So make sure you check with Bob on whatever problems they have available and make sure that you're doing these correctly. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much.